Hi, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a video on the idea of a zest for life, what that is, why it's actually a sin apparently in a biblical standpoint, but also how it differs from the joy that we are promised from God. So I literally got really upset that I found out that zest for life was like a negative thing, because I was like, oh God, like everything's got to be like a Bible study. And like, to be fair, it does correspond though with my genuine joy, because I feel like at one point I was zesting for life so much because of various life traumas. It was probably an escape for me not to deal with my life, if I'm honest. Like, just, or you know, we all go through issues, but I feel like I was so like head in the clouds, like false positivity vibes, and I was so unhappy at the time. So I feel like this is probably why a zest for life is a negative thing, but it doesn't mean that if we aren't realistic, grounded, boundaried to an extent, or realistic in life, that and doing things that are good, that we can't have a really fulfilling, joyful life that is satisfying. And I feel like this idea of a zest for life is, it's again like a deception thing of, you know, when people like, I think there's a fine line sometimes in things like marketing. So I was gonna like bash marketing, like, oh, you know, and don't get me wrong, I feel like sometimes like it can come across like you have people like bash like Instagram and stuff, like people that are like narcissistic, and they're like, oh, I just like, you know, got in front of a massive beach and like, oh, look at my life and blah blah blah, and kind of pushing this image, which is kind of something slightly different. But I also feel like if you're in a beautiful location, then why not show it off? Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, but this can sort of propel this idea of a zest for life for some people, of like, I need to go to Barbados to have a good valued life. Like, if lockdown has taught me anything, especially in 2021 or the end of 2021, is that we can have peace and joy anywhere with any amount of things, with any awful people. You can just have joy and all the important things anyway. And you know, that is what I found out, and God is great. But I also feel like I don't want to come across too much of a nun. Like, this is my issue where I need to like integrate, like, even for myself, like I don't want to sound like a nun. So there we go. And I'm not a nun, definitely not, so there we go. But I'm making the differentiation of zest for life because I guess it's just about a temperament, which is actually a virtue. It's not a sin. A sin is what's the opposite to, doesn't matter, but temperance is actually very like a great thing in the Bible, because I think a zest for life can come from, as I said, this sense of insecurity like I had, or like trauma, or sort of overstepping, like becoming dissonant of life and its real sides. Like, obviously, I think the thing is, when you have like trauma and stuff, like it's a psychological defense in some ways to maybe have false toxic positivity, but in terms of actually having a zest for life, like, it's not necessary, and it can actually distract you from life and the things in life that can be actually really enjoyable. It's a distraction. So yeah, more or less, long and short of it. Thanks for listening. Bye.